Deep in Pakistan's mountains, a predator has found 6 newborn lives. One mother stands between them and death. She has only one weapon, a lie. Will it be enough? High in Pakistan's northern hills, where rock meets sky, the morning light breaks gold across terrace slopes. Somewhere among the boulders, a small, proud bird moves with 6 shadows following close behind her. This is Pakistan's national bird. This is a mother. Her 6 chicks, barely days old, move in her exact footsteps across the rocky ground. Fluffy, small, impossibly fast on their oversized feet. They have learned already, wherever she goes, they go. There is no other rule that matters yet. She finds seeds scattered between the rocks and calls softly. The chicks scramble toward her voice, 6 small bodies converging. She steps back and lets them feed first. This is what mothers do in the mountains. They eat last, if at all. Lower on the slope, moving between shadow and rock, a red fox. It has not found them yet, but its nose reads the mountain air, and somewhere in that air is the scent of 6 small lives. The family continues its foraging rhythm, moving from rock to rock, the mother always scanning, always alert. The chicks follow her rhythm without understanding why. They only know, stay close. Stay together. The fox begins its climb up the slope. Not directly. Foxes never move directly. It weaves between boulders, using every shadow, every angle of cover. Its amber eyes scan the terrain with patient calculation. The mother chukar stops mid-stride. Her head tilts. Something in the mountain has changed, a stillness where there should be small sounds, a silence in the usual chorus of insects and wind. She does not yet see the danger, but she feels it. She calls, a low, specific sound. The 6 chicks respond instantly, pressing closer to her body. She positions herself between them and the open slope below. Some instincts do not need to be taught. Between 2 boulders, 30 feet below, a flash of red-orange fur. The fox's head emerges briefly, scanning, then withdraws behind cover. She has seen it. It does not yet know she has seen it. She has options. She could fly. Chukars can burst upward in short, powerful flights. She could escape alone. But 6 small shapes press against her legs, trusting her completely. She chooses what mothers choose. Her call rings out across the rocky slope, sharp, urgent, unmistakable. The chicks scatter toward the nearest crevice, following weeks of instinct they have never had to use before now. She stays exactly where she is. 6 small bodies press into a narrow crack between 2 boulders, barely large enough to hide them all. They go silent immediately, their mottled-down feathers blending perfectly with the shadowed rock. Invisible, if they stay still. She does not hide. She moves in the opposite direction from her chicks, into the open, onto a low exposed rock, making herself visible. Every instinct in her body says danger, but she does not run towards safety. She runs toward attention. The fox's head rises fully from behind the boulder. Its amber eyes lock onto the exposed chukar on the open rock. This is easier than searching for hidden chicks. This is exactly what it wants to see. She drops one wing low, dragging it against the rock as if broken. She stumbles sideways, calling in apparent distress. The ancient deception of ground-nesting birds, the injured wing display, performed with complete conviction. The fox's entire posture shifts, predatory focus locking onto what appears to be an easy, wounded target. It begins moving toward her directly now, no longer needing stealth. She has become, in its mind, a certainty. She stumbles further along the rocks, always staying just out of reach, always keeping the fox's attention locked on her instead of the direction of her hidden chicks. Every few steps, she nearly lets him close the gap. Never quite. From their crevice, 6 pairs of dark eyes watch their mother's strange stumbling dance move further and further away from them. They do not understand what she is doing. They only know to stay hidden, exactly as she called them to. The fox lunges once, a testing strike. She flutters just beyond his reach, her wing drag display never breaking character. The gap between predator and prey narrows to almost nothing, again and again, each time escaping by a margin that feels impossible. She leads him now through a narrow channel between 2 large boulders, terrain she knows, terrain he does not. Her small body can maneuver through gaps his cannot follow easily. The distance she has bought is measured now in seconds, not feet. The fox's jaws snap, shut inches behind her tail feathers, the closest miss yet. She has pushed this game to its absolute edge. One misjudgment, and the performance becomes reality. She does not slow down to consider this. At the exact moment his weight commits fully to the lunge, she does what chukars do best. She explodes upward in a near-vertical burst of flight, wings hammering the air, rising almost straight up off the rock face. His jaws close on empty air where she stood a half-second before. His momentum carries him forward into the space she abandoned. He spins, searching upward, but she is already gone, a shape rising fast against the pale sky. From height, she watches the fox reorient itself on the rocks below, confused, scenting the air for a trail that has just evaporated. She does not return toward her chicks directly. Not yet. She circles wide, watching, waiting. The fox paces the area where she vanished, nose to the ground, working the scent in tightening circles. It has lost its certain meal. It does not yet think to look toward the boulders on the opposite slope. She lands on a distant ridge, watching. The fox's circles widen, then narrow, then widen again. The mathematics of a predator that knows it was tricked but cannot yet locate the truth of where. Time is now her only weapon. Eventually, hunger and diminishing returns when the fox abandons the search, moving off along the slope toward easier prospects elsewhere. It does not look back. It has already filed this failure away and moved on. She does not return immediately even after the fox disappears from view. She waits, 5 minutes, 10, watching the terrain for any sign of return. Patience is the second half of the same courage that sent her onto that exposed rock. Only when she is certain does she begin moving back across the rocks toward the crevice where 6 small lives have been waiting in complete silence. Her flight path direct now, urgent, no longer performance. She lands near the crevice and calls. Her ordinary contact call, gentle and specific. For a moment, nothing. Then, from the shadowed gap between boulders, the first small movement. One by one, 6 small chicks push out from the crevice, first hesitant, then rushing toward her the moment they confirm it is truly her. They press against her legs, chirping urgently, the fear of the last 20 minutes finally releasing. She moves among them, her beak touching each small head briefly. A count, a confirmation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, all present, all exactly where she left them, exactly as frightened and exactly as alive as she needed them to be. The smallest chick presses hardest against her, still trembling. She lowers herself slightly, letting it burrow into her breast feathers. Some fears take longer to release than others, even in creatures this young. The family settles in the shelter of the boulders, no longer hiding, but resting. She preens her own feathers where the wing drag performance disturbed them. The false injury already forgotten by her body, though not quite by the memory of what she risked. The afternoon light shifts across the rocky slope. Insects resume their sounds. The mountain does not pause for what almost happened here. It simply continues, the way mountains do, indifferent and eternal. By late afternoon, the chicks are foraging again, seeds between rocks, small insects in the dry grass. Their fear from the morning already fading into the resilience that young things carry more easily than adults. She watches from nearby, never far. One chick wanders slightly further than the others. She calls once, sharp, brief. It stops immediately, corrects its path back toward the group. No chick tests that boundary twice in one day. The sun begins its descent behind the distant peaks, painting the rocky slopes in deep gold and long shadows. The family moves toward a sheltered rock formation where they will roost for the night, safety measured in stone and closeness. She settles the 6 chicks around and beneath her, wings spread slightly to cover as many as possible. They tuck against her warmth as the mountain air begins its nightly cooling. This is the ordinary miracle repeated every evening of their short lives. Even settled for the night, her eyes remain half open, alert to the smallest change in the darkness around them. Motherhood in this terrain does not include full rest. It includes vigilance disguised as sleep. Morning returns to the mountains, gold light breaking once more across the terraced slopes. The chicks stir beneath her wings, already larger than the trembling shapes of yesterday morning, already slightly more capable of the world. Days will pass like this one, foraging, vigilance, small dangers survive through her decisions rather than luck alone. Each day these 6 grow a little more capable of surviving the mountain on their own instincts, built partly on top of hers. Somewhere on the mountain, the same fox hunts elsewhere, its failure here already just one data point in a life built on failures and rare successes. It does not know what it almost had. It does not know what stopped it. The mother chukar moves forward across the rocks, her 6 chicks falling into their exact line behind her, exactly as they did on the first morning of this story. Another day of the same brave, ordinary work begins. Wide shot, the small family crossing the vast rocky terrain, dwarfed by the distant snow-capped peaks and endless sky. A small persistent line of life moving across an indifferent landscape. She was never the strongest creature on that mountain. She was simply the one who decided, without hesitation, that her life was the smaller thing to risk.